So today, what I wanted to do for this blog post was talk to you about something called learned optimism. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about it is because when I was reading this book, You Can Adopt, it talks about one of the things that you should plan for is for your first adoption to fall through and to fail. And that could be because a birth mother decides to keep her child, because there might be conflicts in another nation that you're trying to adopt from, and there's a lot of different things that could happen. But with what happens sometimes is you may get discouraged and frustrated with what happened. But with this learned optimism, I hope that it can help you feel more empowered and be able to look forward and be more positive about the process and what happens. So the first thing that I want to talk about is this. So your beliefs control your thoughts control your feelings, and your feelings control your behaviors. And we'll talk more about that in a minute. But I wanted you to see that our beliefs are really the core of what we feel, and because of that core, it really is like throwing a pebble in a pond. It really makes everything else happen, your behaviors. So there's two different explanatory styles. One is the pessimistic explanatory style, and then the optimistic explanatory style. The learned optimism. The pessimistic explanatory style has 3 P's. The first one is personal. What happens? So let me give you an example. So the adoption process fell through. I will never be able to have children. We will never have kids, and no one likes us because the process fell through. So the first one is personal. You make it totally personal. It was because of me, because I'm a bad mom, I'm a bad dad. The agency didn't like me. I don't clean the house well enough. My home study didn't go well. So you point it to it's all because of you. So you attack yourself, and you don't see any other factors of why the adoption process fell through. The second P is pervasive. Basically, you say, this adoption process fell through and nobody likes me because of it. So instead of it being like a one event thing, it ends up spreading to other aspects of your life. You can't see, so no one likes you because, the adoption process fell through. So everything gets brought in. It doesn't matter what it is. The third P is permanent. I will never be able to adopt, or I will never have children. And this really puts you in a box of it never being able to happen. So you're feeling like nothing can ever change because the adoption process fell through. So these 3 P's really show that there's this pessimistic thought process that you can have in this experience of the adoption process. But let's talk about the learned optimism side, the optimistic explanatory style. So the first D, there's 3 D's. The first one is distancing. So you look at your beliefs, like what we talked about, or I mentioned before. You think about your beliefs, you talk about your beliefs, and you measure that to what you're saying. Is it true that you're a bad mom? Well, in my beliefs, I'm doing this, this, and this, and because I'm doing those things, I am a good mom, or I am a good dad. And I do clean well, and things like that. So you distance yourself from the issue at hand. The second D is disputation, or dispute. You dispute, so you choose to disregard what happened. It's not true that you're never going to have children. Because you are really good at being a mom, or it's not true that you'll never have children because there are plenty of children out in the world that need to be adopted. So you dispute with logic with what you're thinking. So the third D is distraction. You can do better in the process. The next time will probably be better, because there are lots of children that need to be adopted, and this time isn't going to happen forever. So instead of saying the adoption process fell through and that's because I'm a bad parent, I'm never going to be able to adopt and my friends don't like me because of it. Instead of saying that, you'd say, okay, this adoption process fell through, and that's because, the birth mother decided that she wanted to keep her baby. This doesn't change things for the future because it is still possible for us to adopt. So you change your negative thinking to something positive, and as you do this, I know that you can really help yourself be happier and really help yourself through such a tough time, because I know it is hard when you're hoping for something and then it doesn't happen. So if you just use this learned optimism, I think it can really help. And that's it. I hope that this helped, and just keep plugging along in the adoption process and eventually it'll work out.